We're the Smiths. I'm Chad.
I'm Shannon. So today we're going to tell you about our son and what happened. James and all the other kids went to bed just like normal one Thursday night, and then all of a sudden around 11:30, he started crying out in pain, and so we went in there. And at first I thought he had a bad dream, but it didn't stop, and so just throughout the night he would cry out in pain with his head hurting, vomiting some, but then he would go back to sleep. So we thought he had a migraine, but then it wasn't better that morning. So we made an appointment with the doctor, and after he saw him, he told us to go to the emergency room. After them asking me if we had aneurysms run in the family, um, it kind of, I guess I started in shock. Then they came back with a CT scan, and we saw that his brain bled into different areas. And they said that he needed to be choppered to PCH. And so then from there, he met with several wonderful doctors, and they took care of him, and they did surgery a week later. And so during that time, we were in the hospital for 2 weeks, and we had so many people at Mountain Ridge and all over just being the hands and feet of Jesus. And we were so grateful and humbled.
I think one of the first things Shannon and I both want to say is thank you to the whole church, because, you guys definitely stepped up and had tons of prayers going for us. And I think as a church family, one of the things that is really positive things to say is that many of the things that people could say that may not be helpful, not true of our situation. You guys definitely encouraged us all along the way. But a couple of things that really kind of stood out as we went through this story to really kind of, that I think had me kind of learn a little bit about, as we went through, about God and about me, is, one of the things that I noticed, I thought a little bit about the story of Peter walking on the waves, and one of the temptations that we always had, I think, with the situation was anytime we focused on the situation, the circumstances we were in, that's when we really got scared. One thing that I kind of thought about is, if people come and say things to you that are kind of churchy things to say, not necessarily wrong things, but don't really have a lot of like direction behind it, things like, oh, God's got a plan, or Bible says don't worry. Those are true things, but they kind of ring a little hollow unless you have like the support and the encouragement and like the how do you do those things, right? I mean, people say don't worry, but you have situations like this that happen, and it's natural to worry. And the helpful thing is when you hear, the Bible says we shouldn't have fear, we shouldn't worry, but follow that up with, how do you do that? And what is the natural response when you do have fear? Take it to God, take it and pray. Those kind of encouragements, I think, are the things that people need to hear when they go through tough situations.
Mm-hmm. And then God allowed this to happen. He didn't make it happen, and He allowed it. And we have been so blessed by this, and we are just so grateful in Him taking a very hard and difficult situation and turning it into something so beautiful and so good. And it not only blessed our family, I think it blessed so many other people, and we just saw His glory.